So we will get started. At this time, I would like to call the September business meeting of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina to order. Would all stand? I would ask Mr. Gerald Gooseby to do the invocation.
Let us all pray. Most gracious, kind Father, Lord, we just thank you for another beautiful day, Father God. We just thank you for life and the blessings of life, Father. Father, I pray that you just guide our steps tonight and our decisions, Lord. Let it be in your will, Father God. Help each and every one of us sitting around this table, Father God, to agree to disagree when that comes up, Lord. And I just pray for those council members, Lord, that's out tonight, Father, for sickness, Lord. I pray that healing touch be upon them, Father God. Touch each and every one of them. Pray for our administration, Lord. I just thank you so much for the work that they do, Lord. I pray that you continue to ever lift them up, Lord. Thank you for the guests in the audience. And I just pray, Lord, if there's one under the sound of my voice that don't know you as Lord and Savior, Father, that they'll realize the need to have you in their life before it's eternally too late to accept you as their Savior. In Jesus' name we do pray.
Main standing, I would ask that Mr. Carrington Locklear lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you lead us in the preamble?
Self-government, tribe of North Carolina.
Tribal government structure, preserve and for all time the Lumbee way of life and community, promoting the educational, cultural, social, and economic well-being of Lumbee people, fearing justice and freedom for the Lumbee people. Madam Secretary, would you give us a roll call?
Ely Oxenine, Sharon Hunt,
Here.
Gerald Gooseby,
Here.
Earl Smith,
Here.
Pam Hunt, Jody Bullard,
Here.
Moore, Carrington Locklear,
Here.
Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Here.
Nancy Locklear, here, Yvonne Dahl,
Here.
Locklear, Kathy Hunt, Sue McNeil,
Here.
Bobby Emanuel,
Here.
Shakawan Oxenine,
Here.
Josephine Doss, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Here.
Homer Fields.
Here.
Have a quorum.
I ask to excuse Mr. Dollarville.
Bill Oxendine needs to be excused because of sickness.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to excuse Miss Christy Locklear, Miss Christy Hunt also.
Christy Locklear, Christy Hunt for sickness. Again, welcome to our September meeting. It's nice to have so many of you here tonight. We have some great people in the audience tonight. I'm going to start on my left. We have our new attorney, Mr. Daniel Locklear. We say he has no idea what he's up for right now because we're fixing to sock it to him. We have a couple of former council members with us tonight, Mr. Larry Tavis and Preacher Ricky Burnett. And Preacher Ricky Burnett is also the chair of the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs. We have Mr. Tony Hunt, who is a commissioner for Hope County and part of our staff. And he serves on EMC as well as Mr. Kirk. We have Tona with our Supreme Court. And We have our Chairman Lowry with us tonight and our Tribal Administrator, Mr. Ricky Harris. And we have some other special guests that you're going to hear from a little bit later on. But I am just tickled to death to have the Bell Clan with us tonight. I ain't going to say the Bear Clan, I'm going to say the Bell Clan. Part of that is Judge Bell. If you follow him on Facebook, he can tell you exactly where to go to eat. He'll keep you abreast of everything. We have Dr. Ronnie Bell, Dr. Joey Bell, who I'm excited is with us tonight because we really tried to get him at our gala, but he had better plans. He was expecting a little grandbaby at that time, so he had to run to Florida for that. So, and his wife is with us. Thank you for being here. And I guess the most important person of the Bell clan is your mom. She's with us tonight. Thank you for being here. But we're going to hear from them in just a little bit. So at this time, we had the review and the approval of the agenda. I would entertain a motion.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to request addition to the agenda. I'd like to request that we add to the agenda the approval of a joint resolution that the chairman's going to write against the constitutional amendment to be presented at NCAI, that instead of writing a separate one, that we join that resolution
And where do you want that to be placed?
and speak with one voice. I'll leave that to your
We'll
determination.
do it at the end of the agenda. After all the business. Is that
If
okay?
you so wish.
Any others? I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the changes.
Second.
A motion by Baker, a second by Harold Smith. Mr. Harold just reminded me that I forgot to read the ethics statement. But we're all ethical. We don't have to hear it. Okay. In accordance with Ethics and Conflicts of Interest Ordinance 2010-0312-01, amended March the 12th of 2010, it is the duty of every council member to avoid both apparent and perceived conflicts of interest with regard to any matters before council in this business meeting. If so, please refrain from participation in those deliberations. All documents that require council action are considered confidential and shall not be disseminated until after a full vote by the council. Had a motion and second to approve the agenda. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we have the review and approval of the August Tribal Council minutes and actions. I'd entertain a motion.
Madam Speaker, I make a motion that we approve August.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Dewey McNeil. A
Second.
second by Ms. Ann Taylor. All in favor? Any opposed? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have quite a few presentations tonight, but that's all good to me because I like seeing folks come. So we're going to start out tonight. We have a very special presentation to Mr. Stephen Bell, who for 2 years, did we get it last year? 2 years in a row, we have a Lumbee that has received the National Indian Educational Award. National Indian Education Award. That's big time. So at this time, I would ask Mr. Stephen to come to the front. I think Mr. Rudy is going to assist us with the presentation as well as Chairman Lowry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Stephen and the Bell family, or the Bell clan, the War clan, for being here. So this is Stephen's time to shine, and I'm not going to take up too much, so I'm just going to go through and read a little bit about Stephen, and I'm going to also read a little bit about National Indian Education Association Award. This award provides all educators and advocates an opportunity to recognize individuals and Native role models and have provided service to their community. Designed to reward the important services outside of the K-12 classroom environment that led to students' significant impact in the area of Native education. NIEA works to acknowledge leaders in this field that have done substantial work to promote language, culture, and tribal sovereignty. And this is going to be Stephen's bio. So Stephen Bell is a proud member of the Lumbee tribe and the American Indian Education Coordinator of county schools. Following in the footsteps of his grandparents, Sarah Bell, and his parents, Ronnie and Natalie Bell, aunts and cousins, Stephen began his work in education, later a school social worker. In his current role as the American Indian Coordinator, he has coordinated over classes, facilitated over 50 trainings, counseling, student sessions, and college tours, and ran the school district culture camp. This summer, Stephen also elected to the board of directors for the to the State Advisory Council on Indian Education. This work, he hopes to better work to create pathways and opportunities and spaces. That's a mouthful. Congratulations. I'm going to step down here with the chairman and I'd like to say a few words, and then Stephen, you and your family can say.
Stephen, do you have some comments? Okay. And then after you finish, we want to get some pictures with your family.
Okay, yes, thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman John Lowry, Lumbee Tribal Council, and guests. Thank you for this honor and the opportunity to speak to you all tonight. And thank you to Mr. Rudy for the invitation and reading out my bio. It is a privilege to represent the Lumbee and the Guilford Native people at NIEA this October. When I found out I received the award for the NIEA National Educator of the Year, I was shocked. I kept thinking to myself, I'm just giving Native students and families a place to heal and be themselves. But unfortunately, in an urban area, that can be rare to have. In working with urban Native youth, we know we especially have to make sure they are not only seen, but that they are seen, as our motto says, #Native Resilient Brilliant. We see this in our weekly culture classes and our very first summer culture camp. You see this in our monthly parent workshops or parent advisory board meetings. We see this when we take our students to college tours, to NCNEO, or to Unity, to see the possibilities they have in store for them. You see this as we push and help our students to use their voice, to not be a token. You see this as we celebrate with teachers and staff to bring Native community members in for trainings and assemblies to remind them that we are still here. We don't just live on reservations or back in the 1700s. Throughout my time in education, I've had many people remind me of my resilience and brilliance. It is first thanks to God and my family that I'm even here today. Many thanks to my grandma, Sarah Bell, my mom and dad, Ronnie and Natalie Bell, my aunt and uncles, Greg and Benita Bell, Dr. Joey and Vicky Bell, and those who couldn't be here, my brothers and cousins, as well as Papa Buddy and Nana and Papa Priest, who have passed on. They're the ones who helped me through those times when I was ready to quit and reminded me that every person has a voice and a story. It's thanks to them who have paved the path for me. It's Greensboro community members like Nora and Ravendale Stanley, Jennifer Revels Baxter, Amanda Jacobs, Dana Laurie, Tabitha, Brianna, and Elena Jacobs, Harry Hunt, Wanda Atmore, Terry Chavis, Timothy Locklear, and educators like Dr. Connie Locklear, Rodney Jackson, Gwen Locklear, and many others who reminded me that I was not alone and that our Native students need someone to listen and empower them. Every one of them met me and continue to meet me where I'm at, and I'm grateful to each one of them because it truly takes a village. For the young people in your life, whether they're in a city or a tribal community, how do we make sure that we are seen, how they are seen as resilient and brilliant? How do we work with them to empower them to be their best selves? How do we work with Native youth and families so the words of Ruth Beard become real? I don't see a sick person looking to be healed. I see a spirit looking to be recognized. Thank you for this incredible honor and for all you do for and with our Lumbee people. Thank you.
So if you want to spend just a couple minutes to get some pictures, Stephen, with your parents and your Bill family, right up here. And just remember, this is live streamed tonight, so if you want to go back and watch it on our website, you can. We also have Mr. Rodney Jackson with us tonight, who received this award last year. Gives us two. Judge Bill. But we might not need that on the record.
Order the tomahawks.
You're Superior Court judge. You can get about anything you want. The next on the agenda, we have the chairman's review. Chairman Lowry.
Good evening, everyone. Got a couple of items here to hit on, and I will do my best to do it quickly, Madam Speaker. So today, the legislature in Raleigh has been meeting to pass the budget. They had some first and second votes, and they'll be voting later again tonight, both chambers of the House. I have spoken to Senator Danny Britt today. He called me, and also Representative Jared Lowry called me today, and they've asked me to make sure that I get out the word and let tribal council know and let the people know. This budget for the state of North Carolina this year is going to be historic for the Lumbee people. With this budget, we will receive $2.9 million from the state of North Carolina. We have never received this much money from the state, ever. They have set aside $200,000 for Strike at the Wind. They've set aside $250,000 for economic development. They've set aside $500,000 for our Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources, and they've set aside $2 million for the Culture Center. Ladies and gentlemen, this is unprecedented, and I'm very thankful, very grateful for our legislators working on this. I've been told that overall for just the county of Robeson, we will see another level of unprecedented funds coming to Robeson County. I do know they also set aside $25,000 for the Hope County Native American Scholarship Program as well. So I do just want to take a moment and just thank Senator Britt, Representative Lowry, Representative Jones, and also Representative Garland Pierce. I've spoken to all four of these gentlemen over the last couple of days, and I'm very appreciative for what they've done and what they continue to do for our tribal territory. Tonight, you guys will be voting on a Health and Human Services Department. I want to thank Councilman Jody Bullitt for heading up the Health Committee. As you guys have done before, you passed a Lumbee Health Board last year, and now you are setting this tribe up for a Health and Human Services Department. Last year, you guys established an Agriculture and Natural Resources Department, and now we're moving forward with a Health and Human Services Department. I want to commend you on this game changer of a development for our tribe. With the creation of this department, it would give us opportunities to go after grants and other funding opportunities. And we will be in a position to help improve the physical and mental health of our people. This will also open the door to new partnerships with entities that are doing healthcare related work. And, we sometimes get into a position of, okay, what have you done for me lately? This is good. Yeah, good, good stuff. We're building houses. We're doing this. We're doing that. But I don't never want us to lose sight of the first. And this is a first. This is a big step. And not only does it set us up for, opportunities now, but when we do get full federal recognition, you guys do understand that health services will be our number one budgeted item. And so we already having this department set up will allow us to automatically roll those funds into a department. So once again, this is about having vision, about understanding where you want to go as a people, where we want to go as a tribe, about us expanding our capacity. I say that a lot, our capacity, and we do a lot with a little because we're Lumbee. We are resilient people. And so once again, I just want to commend you because this is historic, this is a game changer, and this is a proud night for our people. But thank you for this upcoming vote. Alex mentioned NCAI. Um, I spoke to the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs last Friday, I believe. For 3 days last week, I was sort of down and out. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. As you all know, I used to work at NCAI. I'm a former staffer, built lifelong relationships there, and know that NCAI is once again entertaining a resolution from the Eastern Band of Cherokee to remove non-federal tribes from their membership. Is very disheartening. It saddens me to know that we are at this junction again. I've even toyed around with us pulling out of NCAI. What's the point of us being in NCAI? NCAI ain't doing nothing for us. You know, if I'm going to pay my dues and show up, least you could do is want to kick me out, especially when we don't cause any trouble. And that's what I told the Indian Commission Friday. I told all the tribes that we really need to think about pulling out. NCAI has had numerous leadership changes over the past 5 years. I think they've had 5 directors in 5 years. They've had numerous scandals. They have rocked them. They've lost membership. They've had tribes to pull out because of all the organizational chaos that's going on there. And for them, for the executive committee, what got me the most is the executive committee. There's a process for bringing any type of changes to the bylaws through the executive committee of NCAI. And apparently, the people who brought these bylaws followed the proper procedures. Well, the executive board has the authority to make a recommendation on any type of changes. The executive board said we have no recommendations. Now, the executive board's supposed to be the grown-ups of NCAI. They're supposed to oversee, the continuation of this organization. And you would think that an organization with so much chaos and so much turnover would say, you know what, we do make a recommendation. We make a recommendation that we don't want to do anything to lose membership. We make a recommendation that there's been so much disunity and division that we want to keep as many members as possible. And we want to do what NCI was supposed to do. And that's be a leader for Indian country, a unifying leader, a unifying voice. And they chose not to make a recommendation, period. So I was disheartened, was down and out. And but I've had some, I've made some phone calls and had people call me, and they've pretty much said, John, we got to stay in. We need to stand firm. We need to fight. We have gotten calls from all over Indian country, people who want to stand with us. The same thing happened, I think, in 2010 or 2011. Actually, when I was a staffer there, this happened. And I think you have to have a 2/3 vote to change the bylaws. So our enemies, and I say that very strongly, our enemies are going to have a hard time finding a 2/3 vote. Okay, because most people in any country think like us. They're about unity. They're about working together. Okay, you only got a handful that's about division, and they're going to have a hard time getting 2/3 vote to change it. And so, what I've told the Indian Commission Friday, and what I'm telling you all, is that if we're going to go to NCI, we're going to have to go there prepared. We're going to have to go there to do some real time politicking and networking. We're going to have to round up our votes. We're going to have our people together. And some of us are going to have to even give speeches from the floor. So if we're going to go, we got to go to mean business because our enemy's working against us. Matter of fact, I just got off the phone with someone in D.C. and they told me how the Eastern Band's going to be up in Alaska next month at the Alaska Federation of Natives. And you guys know, I just told you last month that AFN passed a resolution in support of us. Now the Eastern Band is going up there next month to try to get AFN to not support us. Once again, when you have a full-time council and a full-time chief and 2 or 3 full-time casinos, you can fly to Alaska. We don't have that. We don't have full-time. We don't have full-time jet money. So we have to be smart. We have to be strategic. And we have to be lumpy because once again, we do a lot with a little. Okay? They need casinos to even compete with us.
Anyway, so we're going to NCAI. Those of you that's going, I need you with your game face on. I need you ready to go. We're talking to other tribal leaders from other tribal nations that's going to be there with us. We do have elections are coming up for NCI president. Current president cannot run again. She's term limited. I do know that one of the individuals running is very anti us. So we're gonna have to get with one of the other candidates and push them on through. And I already have an idea who we're going to be supporting. Somebody very friendly to us, somebody from the East Coast. And we're going to have to also work to get somebody to be as the area vice president as well. So, along with the other elected positions at NCAI. So, our enemy doesn't sleep. They've been working hard against us in Raleigh last couple of weeks. They're working hard against us now at NCAI. They continue to work hard against us at the federal level. I told somebody the other day, if I didn't do nothing else but fight Eastern Band, it would be a full-time job. I mean, we're literally fighting them on 3 different levels, along with everything else that we're doing day to day. So it's real. It's real. But, you know, we ran off the Ku Klux Klan in 1958, and I've been trying to figure out a way to tie that together. You know, now we have modern day Indians trying to run us out of places, and just gonna have to stand up to them and fight them and push back on them, just like we did back in 2010. So, but I will say this: NCI needs to get their act together, and these types of resolutions coming to the floor every few years, in my language, is for the birds. Okay, I mean, it's a membership-driven organization. I don't know about y'all, but you're supposed to want to increase your membership. You're supposed to want to bring people into you. You're supposed to want to give them incentives for them to be members. Right now, we don't have no incentives to be members. We have no incentive. All we have is historic ties to this organization. And we've had people serve on the boards. We've had people work there. We even have a Lumbee working there now. But they're not doing nothing for us. We're the only tribe that's stuck in the legal limbo that we're in from 1956. You know, halfway recognized and halfway not recognized. And they haven't lifted one finger to help us out. So, I mean, you would think that they would be lifting us up and pushing us and trying to get everything done to get us into the position that we're supposed to be, that Congress left us out of. And instead, they're entertaining ideas and entertaining resolutions and entertaining ordinances and entertaining bylaw changes to push us out. So we will be sending a letter to NCAI leadership. We already did previously, prior to them voting to allow this resolution to come to the floor. But we will be writing another letter letting them know how disappointed we are and how their lack of actions, we hear it and we understand it, and we won't forget it. And I will say this: if we do have to do this again, if I'm not chairman, if I'm not here, I would advise y'all to say, y'all can take it and shove it. Because we should be having to fight to stay in the organization that we paid dues to be in. So, already tough out here for Native folks. And it's a shame that we have to continue to fight other Natives just to keep our place at the table. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, I would like to call on Jones, who is going to help us recognize the Powwow Committee. Powwow's coming up next weekend. I hope you're ready.
I'd like to welcome everyone tonight. I'm Richard Jones, Councilman District 6. Also serve on the Powwow Committee. I would like to, for the Powwow Committee that's here tonight, if you could step forward, please. with all that's going on with the powwow. Some could not make it tonight. First, I would like if you would introduce yourself and what department you work in.
Alex and I'm cost analyst.
No, how's the service? I'm in service. Lisa Hagens, I work with housing specialists.
As you see, it's different departments that's helped put this on. It's taken all these just different departments to help make this powwow to be the success so far that it's been. With zero money, now listen to this, folks, zero money being budgeted to this powwow. This crew has worked really hard to make this happen. Things like doing the T-shirt sales. They come to us and ask to use the seal for the T-shirt sales. And y'all listen, most of homecoming, a lot of us was off. I saw us all out at homecoming enjoying it. These folks were out working hard to get this done. And we're talking about off the clock, after hours, in the heat. But with the forward thinking that they've done, park first. We're going to park the car. Is that correct, Miss John? We're parking the cars and then let them walk up and pay. We had long lines. Great forward thinking. We're putting Wi-Fi out at the culture center, so when the people pay, it can be scanned. We can use Wi-Fi to get the lines through. A new concession stand is being built. If you haven't been out there, look, it's a beautiful piece of equipment. And I was out there yesterday, and I've been going out there about every other day, just looking at the progress. But I'll be the first to say now I was a little apprehensive about building something out there, and but I told the staff that I was the first one that was wrong. So I want that concession stand is going to be an asset to our culture center and the community. Uh, we're talking about doing camping out there. People right now, the hotels are charging about $200 a night for all our dancers and all our people to come in and stay. That's kind of expensive. 200 a night. They're going to be here 3 nights. A lot of people's going to want to camp. They've already asked about bringing their RVs in. And the new date. I think the new date that we scheduled was really good forward thinking. And this is instead of the weather that we normally have at the other time. I would like for everybody, this powwow really, the 2023 Lumbee powwow really is going to be epic. But I'd love to give these folks a round of applause. Thank you very much. Would you like to say anything? Or?
I like to talk. So, real quick, I will give the chairman the kind of credit for helping us with the parking and getting that. He kind of come out of his brain, so we kind of put it on paper. But we've got a lot of other people that work with us that do outstanding job. And when it comes to the tribal staff, one thing about that, we always can count on each other. If there's anything that we need done, we'll get it done. From disasters to the powwow to anything. But I would like to call out just these 2 ladies here. Main reason why we really wanted to get them tonight is pretty much the backbone of what we do. One, Lisa, she's raised pretty much about $73,000 in selling ads. So she's did a phenomenal job when it comes to help raising money. And without Nicole, I would probably be lost up in some tree somewhere because she keeps me grounded. She keeps everything organized, everything where it needs to be at. PB's back there too. He's the other right hand man that every time I would say let's go get something, he'll say how much does it cost? Yeah, well, where's it coming from? Where's the money coming from? So. But I want to thank especially these 2 and PV back there for what they do. Again, we got a lot of other people that work that do a lot of good things with us. But thank y'all for inviting us tonight and just recognizing the hard work that we do outside of that thing on our job description that says and other duties. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, Richard just hit on something, and I totally forgot to tell this. Also in the budget, the town of Pembroke is getting $1.5 million to extend water and waste of water to the culture center. So that's going to help us out with our camping. Thank you.
Next, we're going to recognize the Hanassa Scholarship Committee. Ms. Chakawana is going to take the lead on that.
First, we would like to thank you for allowing us to come tonight. Mr. Kurt Lowry is going to come and say some things for us. But before he comes, I would like to thank you personally for people who donated last year individually for your monetary donations, for Tribal Council as a whole, and from the Lumbee Tribe. We really appreciate everything you do for Hanassa. And the Hanassa acronym stands for Hope Native American Scholarship Association. So we just thank you for everything you do and all your support. We appreciate everything. Mr. Kurt.
Thank you, Chuck. Tribal Council Chairman, we appreciate this opportunity to come before y'all. Coming out of Hope County, we appreciate being here tonight. And some of y'all have been supporting us, and we really appreciate it. So I'm gonna just give you a brief info of what we do. The Hope Native American Scholarship Association was established in 2007. Some local Lumbee leaders in our county saw the need to establish a scholarship to help our students pursue a higher education. The first fundraising banquet was held that November in 2007. With the help of our local Lumbee churches, businesses, and supporters, the scholarship has grown to what it is today. This past year, we were able to provide scholarships to 7 students at $3,000 each, for a total of $21,000. Since 2007, we have given $171,900 to 108 students. We could not provide these students these scholarships without the help of our surrounding communities, not just Hope County. We get a lot of help from Robinson, Scotland, Cumberland, and we really appreciate it. We're also, beside the high school students graduating with scholarships, we are also in the process of creating an endowment at UNCP, provide scholarships to college students. So we're not only going to be giving high school students, but the scholarship funds, we're going to start an endowment where if you go to UNCP all 4 years, we hopefully be able to give you a scholarship every year. The driving force behind the success of this scholarship is the Hanassa Committee. This committee has one goal in mind, and that is to raise as much money possible for our students. And next, the Hanassa Committee consists of, and I'll call out the names. We do have a few here, and I'm going to recognize them. Jacqueline Chavis, Mr. Tony Hunt, which is here in attendance, our tribal council lady, Ms. Chakawana, Stella Manor, Ms. Pona Jacobs, which serves on the Supreme Council for Supreme Court for Lumbee Tribe, Ms. Linda Revels, Brandon Locklear, Dr. Leslie Locklear, which is behind me, Mr. Bruce Jacobs. Y'all know Bruce, he owns Highway 55 in Rayford. Pastor Dana Goins. This year's Hanassa Scholarship Banquet will be held November 17th at 7 p.m. at the Robert Wright Agriculture Building in Rayford. If you would like to be a sponsor or attend, please see any committee member. And I left for the council. Everywhere we go, we try to solicit money for our students. So I left for you, Ms. Chakawana, she has some information on this, if you want to be a sponsor or attend. And also, I would add, one of the things we do is we require the students be tribal enrolled. Also, 3.0, attend the banquet, and reside in Hope County. And you can go to school. We have 2 students this year eligible at Purnell Sweat. We have a student eligible at Red Springs. We get students from Fayetteville schools, but as long as they reside in Hope County, 3.0, be enrolled member, they're eligible for this scholarship. So I'd like to say thank you to each one of you that's helped us in the past with this, and I would hope in the future that you support us, along with Chairman John Lowry, who's been a big supporter. On a personal note, I'd like to thank you for not only this, you also have a Lumbee scholarship. My daughter had 2 daughters and a son that has received it. So I thank you for supporting that and continue to support that. You know, one of the biggest problems we have in our Lumbee community is drugs, crime, and the biggest weapon against that is through education. So I appreciate it once again.
And moving right along, next we're going to recognize Miss Angela Nalea. Angel? That's right. This is wrong. This Angel. I remember that from watching the games. Angel Nalea Chavis, if she'll come forward, and her family. Miss Christie had asked us to do this tonight, but Miss Christie is not here. But this is just going to be just a real quick presentation. Miss Angel, did y'all see her on TV, or did y'all watch her? I watched it. I was actually watching when it happened. I was like, oh my God, that's a girl. Miss Angel is the first female to hit a home run in the Majors Division with the Dixie Youth Baseball World Series. So she made history. Miss Angel, where do you go to school? Pembroke Middle. I thought you might have said Prospect. So if my District 7 folks would join her down there for a picture. If you got anything you want to say, baby? You sure, Mama?
You're welcome. Just like to say, I'm proud of her. Like I said, just thank y'all for inviting us tonight. Um, just want to give her, recognize, what she's done and how far she's come. Angel's played ball since she was 4 years old. She actually started at Pembroke Middle School last year, and she actually got recognized as a MVP. So
Good. So
I
what
hope she
grade
continues.
are you in, Angel? 7th grade. Yeah, now she knocked that ball. I'd come out of my seat when I watched it. I thought, oh my God. Because it was, what was it really, really close when that happened? When she hit the,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She got the lead score. Of course, it was tied at the time.
it was tied and
Yes,
she
ma'am.
hit the home run. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So, Mr. Rudy has a gift for you from the tribe. Um, Chairman Richard, Miss Yvonne. Okay. So next we have Miss Sierra Locklear. She reached out and she wants to share with us just a few minutes about an experience she had at the American Nutrition Conference. Miss Sierra, what district do you live in, Sierra? What district do you live in?
I am District 6, Mr. Jones. Yeah. Yup.
Originally from Saddle Tree, right?
Saddle Tree, Union Chapel,
And she
ended
works in
up,
Pembroke.
yeah, working Pembroke, ended up in Red Bank. So, but good evening.
And been through Fairmont.
Been through Fairmont a few times, yeah. Yeah. But good evening, council. Good evening, chairman, community members. My name is Sierra Locklear, and tonight I'm coming to you to I think it was meant for me to be here tonight based on the new department that's being developed. So excuse me if I feel a little direct, but my name is Sierra, and tonight I'm coming to you to spark conversation on the nutrition and well-being of our tribal members. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to attend the Native American Nutrition Conference in Minnesota, the Shakopee Nation. It was held at Mystic Lakes Resort. This is their 5th year holding the conference. I have our IT guy, and he's gonna play a video and share some pictures. It was an experience, and I only saw one lumpy, and it was Dr. Jada Locklear. and she presented, and I didn't get to see her presentation because I left that morning, but I'm sure she did an awesome job. It felt weird not running into any of the Lumbies, so I'm hoping y'all's going to keep this on your radar. But the conference was open to health departments, researchers, farmers, anyone affiliated with nutrition, but there was so much traditional knowledge that was shared, I could probably stand up here and talk to you about it all night. November 2021, at age 34, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Went through a mastectomy, chemo, radiation, extra surgery to repair issues caused by chemo, and then as well, finally ending with breast reconstruction. I'm one of many that are suffering in this county from cancer, cardiovascular, diabetes, thyroid issues, etc. I'm sharing my concern. This is a pandemic, epidemic in our communities, and we got to do something now. We are a tribe of, I guess, still over 50,000 people. We need to start putting words into action. I admire what Mr. Millard and Miss Connie are doing. I've been and seen Miss Connie in action, and we've had herb conversations. Me and Charlie Lowry, we sit and we talk about what our nutrition and what things should look like for us to eat. And that's been one of the hardest things, is what we should and should not eat. Probably one of the healthiest places to eat in this town is UNCP Cafe. It's $10 to go in there. To eat. It's open to the community, in case you was not aware of that. There's a lot of people that isn't aware of that. While I was there, the Dene people have enacted a bill. I don't know if it's just for the tribe, but it's called Junk Tax Bill, and they got that approved in 2014. While I was there, I listened. We take our resources for granted so much. The land, the water, the wildlife that we have here. Other nations are just pleading for plots of land so they can grow a small garden to feed their families, because they are dying substantially of diabetes or heart disease or cancer, and it's the same issues that we're dealing with. If we don't act, instead of talking about eating healthy, what will our next 7 generations do? And IT, if you're ready to play that video. These are some pictures. We got to experience 14 indigenous chefs. This was sweet potato ice cream. She's from the Kickapoo Nation. That's blue corn mush that she made with just strawberries, blueberries. It was amazing. This guy's from Durham. And I'm showing those pictures because right now they're harvesting seaweed from Alaska. And the seaweed was plated on top of salmon and caviar. Sherman, Chef Sherman, if you haven't looked up him, he's doing awesome things. Ben Jacobs, they have stores where they're selling their products. And one product that you'll probably see a lot if you go out west, but it's also here. And guess where it's at? North Carolina. The product I'm talking about is wild rice. They put wild rice in their meatballs. They had it in waffles every morning. And guess where it grows? It grows in Outer Banks. And it's called Indian rice. Is one name. And it's a vascular plant. And it's a rice that has powerful antioxidants and lipid-lowering properties. It's a rich dietary fiber. Instead of just eating Uncle Ben's rice, which I know we love in Chicken Bog, we need to think outside the box. What are we going to do? What are we going to do for our next 7 generations? We don't need another fried food entity in this county. I mean, I like fried chicken Fridays at the university sometimes, but that cannot be in our daily I'm sick and tired of it. And I hope y'all are too. Cancer patients, females, are starting to be diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 17. And I'm tired of seeing our community members in a situation that they can't get out of. And I hope I make it to see my 5 years in remission. We have to speak up, and we can't wait around hoping these big chains are going to come in and provide all this nice salads and all these things that we hope for, which is just another reason why small businesses are important. And so, tribal council members, when you go to sleep tonight and wake up in the morning, think about that. Think about that, because that is one of that's part of our colors. That's one, health and nutrition and spiritual well-being. That's part of who we are as Indigenous people. And as you serve, think about that during your term. And that's it. Thank you.
Miss Sierra, I would like to invite you maybe to get with Jody Bullard or Miss Wendy with the A&R committee, and maybe you can come back and give a more detailed report at one of those committees where you have much more time. Another round of applause for Miss Sierra. She's a cancer survivor. But if you'll get with Jody or Miss Wendy and get on their agenda to come back for a, a deeper presentation, because I think it's very interesting. Next, he needs no introduction. He is the former speaker and chairman of the Commission of Indian Affairs from District 13. He didn't come to preach, but he is going to give us some updates from the commission meeting. While you're passing out that, that's cutting into your time.
Time is of essence.
I tried, Alex.
Madam Speaker, let me say thank you for this opportunity to come and speak to you on behalf of the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs and to the Tribal Council and to our Chairman Lowry. And I've enjoyed all the presentations you've had thus far, and I'm not going to be a preacher tonight. Okay. But to let you know, on our meeting, we thank you for allowing us to be here on the 15th when we had our commission meeting here. Our next one will be December the 1st. It'll be at Campbell University. Also, to make it known to you that the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs, the building it's housed in right now on Jones Street, is being tore down. December the 31st, we will be moving into the Albemarle building. It's right across the street from it. But what I wanted to say, we have a new vice chair, which is Craig McMillan. Many of you know Craig. He is our new vice chair on the commission. Also, what I would like to say is that the Indian Fund, Scholarship Fund, where you buy your license plates, that money, a portion of it. And just to try to give you right quick, there were 33 this year that received $1,000 apiece. And what it was, and there's still $34,000 that remains, was 34, but one person failed to get the rest of their paperwork in, so they scholarship. But out of the recipients, Lumbees were 64%, which was 22. Waccamaw Siouan had 4. Aliwasaponi had 4. Gohary had 2, and the Saboni had 2 also. And there were 25 new scholarships for first time, and then out of that, we had 9 that could reapply also. And I heard about with Hope County, also with the Lumbee, and education is important. So even when you have those, tell them to apply for the scholarships through the commission. A lot of people say, I didn't know that they have it, but when you go on our website, you can pull it up and they can ask for an application and submit that in and get that scholarship. One of the other things was there was a letter made to send to Congress to reauthorize NAHASDA funds to the state. We're looking at it might be cut or whatever. They haven't given it, so we made a motion to that to send to Congress a letter that they would reauthorize NAHASDA funds to assist our people. The other thing that we made a motion from the Economic Development and Employment Committee that we do a reauthorization for the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And what it is that it's money to help people try to get a job, go back to school, get an education. And we're trying to get them to reauthorize that also to put that money back in so we can continue to help all these people that want to better themselves. We've had several, I have a young lady right now that's in Cumberland County that is wanting to go back and get her RN degree, but she's a single parent and it's hard. So we've applied for that and to get funds so that we can assist her with books, travel, and those types of things. So the commission is doing great work. It is. Whether you believe it or not, they're doing great work. We've got all these programs that are set up and assisting our people. Miss Wendy came to our meeting, and we have joined up with her for a resolution that we're going to support of naming the Lumber River to the Lumbee River. We're giving that support to you also. Another thing, and the chairman had spoke on it about NCAI. We have a resolution that we have drafted up that we're going to send. And one of the things I need to tell you about NCAI is this. You have to submit a resolution if you want to come against anything. The chairman has said that you're going to do that. They must receive that resolution by October the 23rd. And we're trying to encourage everyone, all the tribes. We have even reached out to other states that have state recognized tribes because what they're trying to do is this meeting in New Orleans want to disband. They want to kick out state recognized tribes off of the NCAI. And we're trying to fight that we still have a voice. And we understand there's a few of you going. Somebody tried to say how many that you guys had, but we asked them to stay quiet on that because we know that people are listening to what we're saying. And if we say we're taking 10, they're going to take 30 to counter us. So I asked you, and I encourage, I admire what the chairman said. You go, get on the floor, talk with people, rub elbows with people. We need a voice there just like anybody else. We don't need to be disbanded. We don't need to be kicked because we're Indian also. But that's just a few of the things that we did. And again, I just want to say to you, we are there. We appreciate you as the Lumbee tribe, and I appreciate you as being a representative for you. What I would ask you is, though, before you send Brother Harold Gooseby to our next meeting, if y'all would take him to the side and tell him to quit asking so many questions so that we can get through our meetings on time. But Miss Madam Speaker, if you would, I have a copy, and can I get this right quick? I'm gonna hurry.
I've heard you say that at Pleasant View before.
I'm at Cape Fear now. Tribe supporting the NCAI to disband us. I'll give you a few of them. Blackfeet, Chippewa, Fort Belknap, Fort Peck, Crow Tribe, Little Shell, Confederate Celtics, Eastern Shoshone, Northern Arapaho, the Shoshone Bannock, and the Pecana Nation. All of these, and then we know the Eastern Band. This is just a few of those, and I'll leave this, and if she wants to make copies and give it to you. But we need to work hard. Thank y'all. And let me say, and I'd heard and I will, being the chairman of the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs, I understand you guys did not receive an invitation, so I'll take blame that I did not reach out and invite you to take and come. But as you know, you can come anytime to any meeting we have. So if you want to throw tomatoes or tomatoes, you can throw them at me. But we love you guys. We appreciate you.
Mr. Richard.
Mr. Harris, Mr. Burnett, I got a quick question for you. Sorry about that. Mr. Burnett, I have a quick question for you. What tribes in our state are seeking federal recognition, and do we have any tribal groups seeking state recognition at this time?
The if I'm not mistaken, the Halawa, Saponi, or somebody had put in for them to seek federal recognition, but it hasn't come through us. As far as state recognition, Catawba, because is now in North Carolina, they have come to us and they're submitting the paperwork. We're waiting on that paperwork. And then there's a tribe from the Roanoke that has applied, and we've received some of the paperwork on that, and still waiting more of it. But that's the only two that's looking for state recognition at this time. So, and we're just waiting on as I said, Catawba, just the necessary paperwork, and we're taking forward with that. Any other?
Thank you so very much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Burnett. Okay. Ms. Lakeisha, is there any community comments? No community comments, none were emailed. Okay, at this time we will move to the business portion of our meeting. We're going to start with finance. Ms. Pam is not here tonight, so Mr. Jody Bullard will present those items of business. Mr. Jody, starting with CLO 2023-092101, continuing resolution.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will start at the fourth whereas. The Lumbee Tribal Council has the power to enact legislation to appropriate funds for operation of the tribal government. And whereas official year of operation in Lumbee Tribe, North Carolina is October 1 through September 30th. And whereas the annual tribal budget enacted by the Tribal Council will be effective and binding until signed by the tribal speaker and posted for 30 calendar day. And therefore, be resolved that the Lumbee Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina votes to approve this continuing resolution of the fiscal year 2022 to 2023 budget with the following provisions. 1. All current salaries be frozen. 2. No new hire employees.
Okay, coming from committee, it doesn't require a second. Is there, or doesn't require a motion, is there any discussion? Seeing none or hearing none, roll call, Madam Secretary.
Billy Oxenine, Sharon Hunt,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby, Harold Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Moore, Harrington Locklear,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Dye,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Takawana Oxenine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes, Annie Taylor,
Yes.
Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The next item is CLLO 2023-092102, fiscal year October 1, 2023 through September 30th, 2024, Lumbee Tribal Budget Ordinance. Mr. Jody?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We will start at the fourth whereas. The Tribal Council is responsible for oversight and review of all budget components, and whereas the Tribal Council has authority and fiduciary responsibility to ensure compliance with program funding and allocations, and therefore being enacted by the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the following ordinance cited as official year October 1, 2023 to September 30th, 2024, the Lumbee Tribal Budget Ordinance, subject to all exclusions and provisions.
Okay, this is coming from committee, so it doesn't require a motion. Is there any discussion? Discussion, Madam Secretary.
Billy Oxendine, Sharon Hunt,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby, Pearl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Carrington Locklear,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw, Rudy Locklear, Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Takawana Oxendine,
Yes.
Josephine Doss, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I want to back up just a minute to the continuing resolution. There is an oversight in it has an ordinance number where is actually a resolution and not an ordinance. But if, look, Ms. Lakeisha will make that correction.
Along with the attestation. The attestation's wrong for resolution.
Yeah, and the certification. Are we talking about the certification? Yeah, if you'll just make those corrections, Ms. Lakeisha, it's a resolution and not an ordinance. Mr. Harris, you have a budget. The next item is CLLO-2023-0921-03, Circle of Culture's budget. Mr. Jody.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, we'll start at the fifth, whereas the Lumbee Tribal Council of North Carolina reserves the right to amend the budget upon the chairman's recommendations as deemed appropriate to maintain a balanced budget. And whereas the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina has received the grant from the American Indian Cancer Foundation to be named Circle of Culture's budget in the amount of $90,000, and whereas the grant will be administered as described in the budget below, and therefore it be enacted by the Lumbee Tribal Council of North Carolina, the following order shall be cited as the Circle of Culture's budget, subject to all exclusions and provisions as stated by the American Indian Cancer Foundation.
Yeah, this is the Circle of Culture's grant, and it's in the amount of $90,000, and given by the American Indian Cancer Foundation. Coming from committee, it doesn't require a motion. Is there any discussion? Looking at Gerald, cause I know he's itching. Go ahead,
No,
Gerald.
I just a clarification. I have no problem with it, but is this the one that you was talking about with the uses of tobacco for medical purposes and stuff?
Yes.
That's one. Okay.
That's his first time tonight, y'all. That's Gerald's first time tonight. Second, it's okay, but not fourth or fifth. Okay. Coming from committee, it doesn't require a motion. Is there any more discussion? Any further discussion? No further discussion, Madam Secretary.
Billy Oxendine, Sharon Hunt,
Yes.
Joe Gooseby, Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Carrington Locklear,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw, Rudy Locklear, Kathy Hunt, Joey McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Takawana Oxenine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Alma Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, and the last item under finance is CLO 2022-1020-01 State Fiscal Recovery Fund Budget Amendment Number 1. Starting at 6, whereas the North Carolina Pandemic Recovery Office will administer monies for the State Fiscal Recovery Fund budget as appropriated for state Indian tribes as part of the American Recovery Plan Act, ARP. And whereas the North Carolina Pandemic Recovery Office has awarded funding to respond to COVID-19 public health emergency and its negative economic impacts, and whereas the State Fiscal Recovery budget allocation of $4 million. Tammy, what's the correct number there? $4 million? $4,066,939.37. Okay, I'm sorry. Will be allocated as noted in the budget below and amended to meet additional needs of elder services, and therefore it being enacted by the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the following ordinance cited the State Fiscal Recovery Fund budget, subject to all inclusions and provisions. Uh, Coming from committee, it doesn't require a motion. Is there any discussion?
Madam Speaker, I just ask that we make one correction on the front page. Instead of a comma, it needs to be a period in front of 37%.
That's what was throwing me off
Apologize. Yes,
there. I
ma'am.
thought, and the amended amounts was $250,000 was moved to elder services, 4,209 under substance abuse, and under construction 165. 250,000 was moved to elder services, 84,209, and 165,791 was taken from those two items. Madam Secretary.
Ely Oxenine, John Hunt,
Yes.
Joe Gooseby, Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, Katie Bully,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Carrington Locklear, Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear.
Yes.
Kathy Hunt. Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Chakawana Oxendine,
Yes.
Doss, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Just to be clear on that, just so you'll know, the $250,000 was put in elder services, 1,209, and was taken from substance. So we'll know where that $200,000 come from. That comma was throwing me off. I thought, that's a next. The next item is under ethics. It's CLLO, ethics and conflict of interest ordinance. Mr. Bobby Emanuel.
Start the fourth whereas the tribal council has determined that additional provisions to the ethics and conflict of interest ordinance shall include ethical standards of conduct that shall guide the actions of all persons who have a relation with the tribal government and provide guidance for conducting business, protect the interests of the tribal members and the reputation and integrity of tribal government. Whereas the ethical standard of conduct shall govern the conduct of tribal officials, tribal appointees, council members, volunteers, and tribal members in a manner that protects the best interests of the tribe and is free from corruption and misconduct in the tribal government. All the above persons are subject to the provision of this ordinance and any of the other tribal ordinances that are personally responsible for ensuring his or her conduct conform to these following provisions. Therefore, it be enacted by the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the following ordinances cite as the Ethics and Conflict of Interest Ordinance.
There's about 7 or 8 pages of that. If this ordinance is approved, this will be on our website for review. Coming from committee, it doesn't require motion. Is there any discussion? It has been reviewed by our attorney, Mr. Daniel Locklear. Is there any further discussion? Madam Secretary.
The Oxendine, Darren Hunt,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby, Harold Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Karen Locklear,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw, Freddie Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Chakawan Oxendine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes, Annie Taylor,
Yes.
Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion passed.
And the next item on our agenda is under Health and Human Services, CLLR 2023-092101. It's the establishment of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina Health and Human Services Department. Mr. Jody Bullard.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just before I read this ordinance, we've already heard concerns or issues related to the issues in our community. Be mindful that we just place some money in our elderly services, which I think is a very great thing for our elders in our community. And again, that's just tip of the iceberg of some of the things that I hear sitting on the Lumbee Health Board and issues that are being brought to our community. So I ask you tonight, before you vote, to think about elders in your community and the children in your community, how we can help with these services. Thank you. So I'll start at the fifth whereas. The Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina recognizes the need to care for the health and well-being of the Lumbee people. Whereas currently through grant funding from various sources, the Lumbee Tribe operates a number of programs targeted towards health and human services, including the Tribal Support Services Program, and therefore be enacted. The Lumbee Tribal Council does hereby establish the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina Health and Human Services Department.
Okay, this is the establishment of a Health and Human Services Department coming from committee. It does not require a motion. Is there any discussion? I'm looking at Daryl. So he has that look, y'all. This is number 3.
Is there going to be a budget associated with this?
I assume so, yes.
Not at this time.
Not at this moment.
Trying to figure out how we're going to start without a budget.
Discussion? If there's no other discussion, Madam Secretary.
Billy Oxenine, Sharon Hunt,
Yes.
Gerald Gooseby, Harold Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Karen Chalaclear, Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw, Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
Yes.
Bobby Manuel,
Yes.
Takawana Oxenine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker, Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay.
Next is a letter of support for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Mr. Jody Bullard.
The last thing we have is just a letter of support. You heard Make-A-Wish Foundation from the Hill Committee. And again, we have a lot of kids in our communities that would love to have a lot of opportunity to do certain things. But I think this would be a great partnership, a letter of support to this organization. So that we support them, especially in our Native communities. Again, just bridging that partnership with them, just let them know we got open arms here, and we have kids in our community that would love for that opportunity. And Miss Andy Taylor, uh, if some of you weren't here, Miss Andy, you want to elaborate on how it helped you or your family member?
I had a granddaughter. It was her birthday. She was 6 years old, and she has a brain tumor. She is 24 years old today. The brain tumor is still on her brains. They could not operate on her because the tumor is webbed in like a spider web on her brain. She stayed about a month in the hospital. She has to wear a shunt, and they told us that she wouldn't be a normal child. Well, today she is a normal child. She graduated with early college, which they told us she wouldn't even able to finish school. She has her CNA 1 and 2 today, and she's a home health care nurse. So this Make-A-Wish Foundation, it might not touch everybody, but it did touch my family. And that you talking about over 20 years ago. This child wasn't even supposed to make it, but she went to Florida because she wanted to see Hannah Montana. So if y'all could help donate to Make-A-Wish Foundation, that's a good charity. Thank you.
Mr. Baker.
Do we have an address or someone to address this letter to instead of an open letter?
I'm sure we do. If you were at the meeting the other night, the Make-A-Wish Foundation made a presentation, and I think Jody probably has her information.
I would recommend inserting and directing this letter to someone, this letter of support.
The letter of support for the Make-A-Wish Foundation that has helped a number of kids in our community. There's no further discussion.
And also, there'll be a link if you have anybody. I'll send out the link after the 30 days. There's a link, a referral link. If you know any kid in your community and like you'd like to referral program, I'll send out the referral link.
Mr. Jody, Madam Secretary.
Billy Oxenine, Sharon Hunt, Joe Gooseby,
Yes.
Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, J.D. Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Carrington Locklear, Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear, Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil, Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Takawana Oxenine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next, the final business item, Mr. Alex Baker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I asked that after talking with the chairman, I did attend the mid-conference. It was quite contentious in those meetings on the district level, the vice chair, the area level. It also was very contentious in some. So this one will be even more so. And so I have asked and will meet with a professor tomorrow, a distinguished law professor, to set a time that they can join us for a meeting, a committee meeting. I know that not everybody here is on that, but I would encourage you to come, be a part of that. We're going to work on talking points so that we can address the National Congress on the floor, so that we can talk to others intelligently. This distinguished law professor does know the bylaws as well as the Constitution of NCAI, and so we're going to attack them using the Constitution and their bylaws, and then some facts from our bill and things of that nature. So, unfortunately, we'll not be able to set that calendar at the calendar tonight, as my conference will not occur until tomorrow. I could not get on her calendar until tomorrow, but I will be pushing that out. In the meantime, after discussions with the chairman, as to whether or not we write a resolution, he writes a resolution, I think this issue, and you heard his presentation is tonight, I think this issue is at a boiling point. And so my recommendation and the reason for asking us to join is that we speak with one single voice. That we not speak and send two resolutions that can be misinterpreted, misconstrued, but that we would join forces and we speak solidarity against this attempt to remove us. So that is my motion that I put on the floor, and I ask for a second. Gerald, I was waiting on my colleagues who were talking, but thank you, Mr. Gerald.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Baker and a second by Mr. Gerald Goolsby. Is there any further discussion? Uh, Madam Secretary.
Billy Oxendine, Sharon Hunt,
Absolutely, yes.
Joe Gooseby,
Yes.
Earl Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, J.D. Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Carrington Locklear,
Yes.
Christy Hunt, Richard Jones,
Yes.
Nancy Locklear, yes. Yvonne Daw,
Yes.
Rudy Locklear,
Yes.
Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil,
A polite yes to Mr. Baker.
Bobby Emanuel,
Yes.
Takawana Oxenine,
Yes.
Josephine Dawes, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Field.
Yes.
Motion carries. Alex Baker.
I appreciate y'all's attention tonight. It has been a bit longer meeting than normal, but everything pertinent to the night for tonight. At this time, if you will turn your attention to the September calendar. On Saturday,
Mr. Chair, the powwow for District 12 is canceled due to the weather that is expected, and I
on,
will reschedule another day.
on Saturday the 23rd, the District 12 powwow in Laurinburg will be rescheduled. On the 25th, there's a Supreme Court hearing at 6 o'clock. PCRC will be meeting on Tuesday night at 6:30. The 28th on Thursday is Pembroke Day from 3 to 7. The 29th, 30th, and the 1st, Sunday the 1st, which is my birthday, we will be at the powwow. And I would ask if you can make every effort to be there for the grand entries if you can. I think it would be look really good if our council would show up and show out for the grand entries for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you can't make every day, we understand, but try to make as many of them as you can. Did you have something else for that, Richard?
I was going to say we're going to have a council tent there as well.
And there will be a tent set up for the council, and I think Mr. Harris gave you all a packet for the powwow. Is there anything else for September? Well, on Saturday, and usually one on Sunday. Just whatever you can do. Yes, yes, yes. We appreciate it. If you will turn your attentions to the calendar for October. Oh, I'm sorry, September. Let's go back to September.
September the 28th, which is Pembroke Day. I am hosting a community fish fry. Surrounding counties and the community, Robinson. I'll come on out. It'll be at the Salad Tree Community Building at 1031 Mount Olive Church Road. It starts at 6 o'clock. Frying spots and chicken. Y'all come by.
Is that for October? Hold on. Now we're moving to October. So, on the 3rd, if you'll put down 7:30 for A&R, Miss Wendy had messaged me and asked me if we could have A&R on October the 3rd at 7:30. Gerald.
October 10th.
For Jody.
Tentatively for October the 3rd at 6:30 for Health and Human Services. And depending on, we get the flyer. I got a flyer that needs to be approved and the tribal health survey for the tribal health assessment.
Mr. Richard.
Finance and housing on the 10th, 7:30, 8:30.
Yvonne.
Education, October the 3rd.
Boy.
Our last CNO committee meeting, I thought we had scheduled October the 6th. I thought it was the 16th because of Asian conference that's in Albuquerque starting on the 17th. And I didn't know that Mr. Richard.
We've been trying to get that for the last longest, Mr. Dewey.
Let's see.
At Berea. It's going to be at Berea.
To talk to you about a council meeting. While we're on the agenda, for the months of October and November, we need to revisit those dates. I know that we typically have our meetings the third Thursday of October, of each month. The third Thursday of October, there's absolutely no way we would have a quorum. So I would suggest that we move our meeting up to the 12th or the 26th.
Action.
I'm sorry. Yeah. 26, is that, does 26 work with y'all to move our meeting to that night? Okay. We'll get there. I'll talk to you about it in a minute. So, um, Dewey, what did you say about seeing?
Can we do it the 10th? I can move housing. Or what about the 12th?
Are y'all having a meeting on the, are y'all having District 3 having a meeting on the 5th?
Madam Speaker, while Dewey thinks, I do want to acknowledge that Gerald said in open session, but we all know Gerald says so much that, it escaped me about the commission meeting. So I do want to acknowledge that Gerald shared. But if it don't make it to the calendar, so when Gerald mentioned it, it should have made it to the calendar. Because if it don't make it to my calendar, or I don't get an email that invites me, I didn't get it.
I thought you wanted me to hurry up. Hey,
And I love you, but I don't.
Dewey, any suggestions? Second,
What, Judy?
Is there an ordinance that we've already approved all of the business meetings for the year that we have to change prior to changing these meetings? I mean, I have nothing against it. I just want to make sure, we're done in order.
it was in duties and decorum, I think.
That's a resolution.
Okay, yeah.
You set the meetings and duties and decorum.
I make a motion. We need a motion. I have to make a motion.
Let's wait and see what.
Hold on, Dewey, are you saying October 2nd? Constitution ordinance, October 2nd, 6:30. Anybody else? Bobby, anybody else? Nobody? Any more meetings?
Federal recognition at 8 o'clock
What,
on October the 2nd, tentatively.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jody.
One last one. I'm going to have a community meeting on October the 24th. Mm-hmm. Community meeting October 24th. We'll try to, I changed the peanut butter and jelly. Is that okay?
FYI, Richard and I be gone all the first week in October, so all those meetings. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else have any meetings to set?
Reminder that October the 9th, there is a district meeting 9 and District 10 at Freedom Baptist Church.
Okay, so if you'll turn your attention to the council meeting for October, which was originally scheduled for October 19th, and the council meeting for November, which was originally scheduled for the 16th. Those two meetings need to be rescheduled. That week of the 16th is NCAI. So you can't do the next Thursday because that's Thanksgiving. So is it okay if we do, whenever you want to do it? Feelings about it over on that side? The what?
Okay with it.
I'm okay with it being any time.
Look at the 28th, because
Tuesday the 28th it is.
yeah, because the 21st, that's the week of Thanksgiving. People have a lot of family, and so let's look at the 28th. That'll give you time to have all your committee meetings and then
The
do what you need to
October
do.
the 26th, October meeting, the 19th has been rescheduled or changed to October the 26th on a Thursday. The November 16th meeting has been changed to November the 28th on a Tuesday. We will make sure we get that on the website. We have plenty of time, so we'll make sure we'll get that on the website ASAP.
That is a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to change those two dates to October 26th and November 28th. Any further discussion? Here.
Billy Oxenine, Sharon Hunt,
Yes.
Joe Gooseby,
Yeah.
Harold Smith,
Yes.
Pam Hunt, Jody Bullard,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, Karen Chalaclear, Christy Hunt, Richard Jones, Nancy Locklear, yes, Yvonne Dahl, Rudy Locklear, Kathy Hunt, Joy McNeil, Bobby Manuel,
Yes.
Chakawana Oxenine,
Yes.
Josephine Doss, Annie Taylor, Alex Baker,
Yes.
Homer Fields.
Yes.
Motion.
Before we adjourn, we did have a LNPP meeting scheduled for tonight. I would ask that we reschedule that meeting until 26, or we can have it before then. It really doesn't matter. We are very close to finishing. There was one outstanding invoice that came in today. Ms. Sharon Bell is out of town, and so I don't have the exact figures, but it's basically finished. You will be happy to know that we probably brought in about $118,000, and we about $118,000, which was far more than our goal. Don't hold me on that 118. It's somewhere in there, but anyway, which we exceeded our goal, and we hope to have profits of anywhere from $47,000 to $50,000. So next year's event has already been scheduled for June the 29th. We're gonna try to double that, and there's no further business. Mr. Homer, would you lead us? I'm sorry, we do have one more item. I'm sorry, Miss Yvonne. Miss Yvonne was so quiet over there, I forgot.
I've talked to Miss Lakeisha, and we got the writing and the art competition applications ready. And the deadline to submit those will be October the 23rd. And we have for our title or theme, Respecting the Elders. Okay, so we'll have you to encourage all the children to participate in this, and areas for your Indian education directors. And I've already talked to Miss Connie about it.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
yeah, and probably getting it on the website might help to get you some more participants.
I have some of the posters for Heritage Month.
Indian Heritage Month.
Yeah, out there in my truck. I forgot to bring them in. I got a few of them, so if anybody wants one, just let me know, and I'll get it.
If you'll stand adjourned, Mr. Homer, if you'll dismiss us.
That motion.